The difference between me and Hunter Biden is I did that through the business that he built up as a capitalist. If he wanted to give me $1 billion, I could put it on a pile of floor, light it on fire, and that's our prerogative. I mean, that's sort of, the difference is I didn't do it through my daddy's taxpayer-funded office.
It seems to me that if Donald Trump Jr. was getting about 85 grand a month to work for a company in a foreign land who he didn't have any expertise in doing what they do.
In a language I didn't speak. In a language in a business I know nothing about.
I think you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on?
Well, that's the hypocrisy. And the media does.
We're talking about Hunter Biden, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
The media loves to do this. They go, oh, Donald Trump Jr. attacked Hunter Biden. I go, yeah. Well, Donald Trump Jr., he's so not self-aware. I was like, no, I get it. I'm the son of a rich guy. I've gotten a big part where I said it on Hannity a couple times, and then I didn't, give the 3-minute disclaimer the second time I was on. So they're like, oh, he doesn't get that he's also benefited. I go, no. I've benefited from my father's last name. I share his name. I get that. I'm not pretending that hasn't happened.
But also, aren't you proud of that? I mean,
100%.
We have this fear of success here.
Well, but Dave, the difference between me and Hunter Biden is I did that through the business that he built up as a capitalist. If he wanted to give me $1 billion, I could put it on a pile of floor, light it on fire, and that's our prerogative. I mean, that's sort of, the difference is I didn't do it through my daddy's taxpayer-funded office. Right? Magically become an international businessman. When we won, before he even took the presidency, we said we are not going to do new foreign deals. Okay? We had deals that buildings we're building and then we can't just pull out. We have a contractual obligation. We said we will not. That was a big part of my business. That's why I'm so involved in politics, because that's what I did. I have a lot more free time now. So it's like, hey, I'll get involved in this and fight for what I believe in. That's why I wrote a book. But the false equivalency of being like, well, how are you different than Hunter Biden? How am I different? Like, I was an international businessman for the last 15 years, okay? We stopped doing those deals just so they could have no, impropriety story. Hunter Biden magically becomes an international businessman, gets on a board of an energy company. He knows nothing about energy, had no track record, and is making $83,000 a month in the Ukraine where his father's in charge. No, that's off limits. I wasn't off limits for 2.5 years. Kids are off limits. Barron Trump's not off limits. They hit him. Yeah. Tiffany Trump, who's in law school, did nothing. Just a nice kid, going to school. She's not off limits. I wasn't off limits when they spent 2.5 years trying to throw me in jail for treason for taking a 20-minute unsolicited meeting. Hunter Biden's off limits for a shady board seat in a corrupt company. He's off limits when he takes $1.5 billion from the Chinese government, not like a Chinese investor, from the Chinese government after traveling there on Air Force Two with his father. Well, what would the media do if Donald Trump Jr. did that?
But they said they didn't talk about it.
Obviously,
nor at the golf.
Obviously, they didn't mention the business. They knew nothing about it when they're playing golf together. I just say, do the other thing. How about this? Let's go earlier in life. Hunter Biden gets, a great job at MBNA right out of school. Happens to be the largest bank and the largest employer in the state of Delaware, where Joe is the senator signing favorable tax legislation. He's a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant guy, so he manages to rise through the ranks there faster than anyone. Obviously, totally a coincidence. He then gets a board seat on Amtrak at 27. Huge. He's a lover of trains. He's a lover of trains, obviously,
clearly.
Dave. I mean, that's why he got it. Nothing to do with daddy controlling the purse strings. No, that's off limits. I haven't talked much about it because, honestly, it's not even worth it, but, you get frustrated enough because they have to attack my personal life, everything about it. Go, what would happen if Donald Trump Jr. got thrown out of the Navy Reserve in 2 weeks, for doing a little of the yayo?
Yeah.
Testing positive for cocaine. You think they'd have a problem? You think they'd give me the pass? People don't even hear about that. Turning in a rental car with a crack pipe and all of these things. And the media would have a field day. So much so, I almost should go do it, because when they catch it,
you got a real death wish, man.
The aneurysm that they would have. No. It would be good for us because it would solve the fake news media problem. Their heads would explode with outrage that there'd be none left and we could get back to a reasonable discourse. So they try to do this false equivalency of what's the difference. I go, that's the difference. Hunter Biden made millions of dollars through his father's taxpayer-funded office, has all this other shade in the past, and he's totally off limits. But you had no problem with half of Congress saying that I literally committed treason, a crime punishable by death, for taking a 20-minute unsolicited meeting. But Hillary Clinton can go out, pay foreign agents to go collect dirt, take that dirt through the DNC, leak it to the FBI. The FBI then leaks it back to the press. The press writes their outrage story, which the FBI then uses as the basis of an investigation of individuals on a campaign for the President of the United States, which started the whole Mueller hoax. I mean, where's the outrage? By the way, not even the outrage. Like, where's the story?
Right.
Like,
just
you have like
anybody.
a couple of guys, Sarah Carter, Sean Hannity, Greg Jarrett, a couple of guys pointing out, but like, where's like, you'd think that this would be big news. I mean, if you're a journalist, like, this is kind of a big deal. I mean, this is a legitimate coup, and they're just like, no, hey, well, nothing to see here. Hey, there's nothing going on here, guys. We're just going to pretend this never happened, because it goes against what they would like to happen. It goes against the DNC talkers. It goes against that media narrative. And since they've made that cognizant decision to be the marketing wing of the DNC, we should actually look into them, for campaign finance violations, because they're just literally contributing millions and billions of free marketing to the DNC, covering for their bullshit.
So who in the course of all of this, I hear you on all this, who in the course of all this do you, and I guess by extension your dad, actually take counsel from? So I remember during the Michael Cohen testimony, it was one of the first moments when I was like, this Russia thing is complete nonsense. But the reason wasn't because of anything he said, it was because you were live tweeting it. And I was like, if this guy is guilty, meaning you, if you were guilty of anything, your lawyers or everyone you know would be locking you up and putting you in a room and taking your phone.
It's in here.
Yeah, because you were live tweeting it so freely.
My lawyers, it was funny. Like, my lawyers, he's like, you can't do that. Like, anything you say, there will be. I was like, I don't care. I'm right. Like, I don't care. This is bullshit, and I'm going to say it. Like, so, I mean, I literally had that conversation. That sit down with my lawyers numerous times. Like, I go, you guys are making one critical mistake. If I sit down, if I just sit in the corner and curl up in a ball and die, or cry sucking my thumb in the fetal position, that's what they want. Like, you think they're going to go any lighter on me? They're not. Adam Schiff was on TV every day saying I committed treason. He's seen evidence to the entire country. He's seen evidence of treason and collusion and all. I still haven't seen it. You know what I mean? You think if he's seen it and no one else has, like, you think, hey, maybe it's time to drop it by now. Like, it wasn't in the Mueller report. But, so I'm saying, I'm just not going to do it, man. I'm not going to just sit back. I get where you're going from a legal strategy. I'm not naive to that. It's not that I'm stupid.
Not saying it was the right thing to do. I'm just saying.
I get where they're saying. I go, I just don't care. And honestly, at the end of it, they go, you know what? You were right. You needed to push back, because you could see it. I mean, I'm in closed-door testimony with the House Intelligence Committee, right? And I come back, I'm out of this thing after 9 hours or so of testimony. I get out at 7 o'clock at night, and I look at Twitter and CNN. At 11:59, Donald Trump Jr. was saying this. I go, Jesus Christ. I mean, Adam Schiff is taking bathroom breaks and leaking this stuff to CNN.
Closed door?
Closed door. It was supposed to be totally.
Yeah.
And I go back, I'm looking back 7 hours in advance. Every time we took a bathroom break, CNN is breaking this stuff. I mean, 3 of their big bombshells had to do with me. Now, they were all wrong. They were all false. One of them was the WikiLeaks. Like, some random dude, like, literally DM'd me or sent me an email. Like, have you seen this? It was like, whatever, like, let's call it June 14th, right? Now, they leaked the stuff to CNN, and I'm looking at the dates. They like, do you have comments on that? It was June 4th. I was like, holy shit. Like, they deleted the 1 in 14, right? So the 14, you delete the 1, it becomes 4. So the thing broke on, like, June 10th or whatever it was, right? So it looks like I had this information from some random, it's a Trump donor. He donated like $25 and somehow like spammed our email. So actually hit my email. So it got there. I didn't respond. But it looked like that based on the leaked email. Like, I had it 6 days before rather than 4 days after the rest of the freaking world. No different than sort of, me outing the whistleblower after it's been out there in the public for 4 days. I'm just like, oh my God. Now, bombshell, Donald Trump Jr. had it. I'm like, here's the tweets. Here's the emails. Like, how come we're the only ones being transparent, Dave? Like, my father, they questioned it.
Apology? You ever get a call? Somebody
not even a retraction on some of these. The other, Michael Cohen was there when Donald Trump Jr. said, no, his lawyer pulled that one. His lawyer pulled it back because they got it wrong. And they're the guys leaking it. Like, it's so asinine. Like, and then they question about it. Now, there was no questioning about him then literally perjuring himself. I think it was 8 or 9 times. Like, because I'm live tweeting, I'm like, nope, didn't happen. Check XYZ. I mean, Jim Jordan, some of those called it out. They sent the thing back to the DOJ, be like, hey, what about this? Nothing. We're not playing the same game, and that's the problem. I mean, there are some Republicans that are doing it. There's some that are learning from Trump, because Trump has taught conservatives, hey, you can fight back. You don't just have to lose because they want you to. You don't just have to give up because they're going to write a bad story about you. Like, But the problem is that mentality is still there. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to leave this ago. They would never give us that same benefit of the doubt. I say, hey, we can all play t-ball or we can all play hardball, but we got to be playing the same game, and we're not.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.